Sam Sweeney, Want to Fly, Want to Flee, from the album Escape That. And he's doing solo gigs in February and May, actually, purely solo fiddle music. In February on the 8th, he's in London, and on the 21st, Bristol, 24th, Newport, Pembrokeshire, New Milton in Hampshire on the 25th, and Birmingham on the 26th. Then into May, he goes to Sheffield and Kenilworth, Macclesfield, Oxford, Guildford, St Albans, Cardiff. Oh, sold out in Cardiff already. Big in Cardiff, Sam Sweeney, evidently, and Tetbury in Gloucestershire on the 21st. OK, that's it. Thank you very much for listening. Thanks again to the Magpie Ark. Catch them if you can, hopefully at a festival over the summer. Remember, next week, 21st Century Folk comes to Radio 2 in a big way. 5 new folk songs written about 5 real listeners and their lives. You can hear about it every afternoon on Jeremy Vine's show starting on Monday. That's the 9th. And you'll be able to find the full stories on the BBC Sounds app on the same day. And hear Thea Gilmore and Sean Cooney from the project on this show, The Folk Show, next Wednesday night at 9. OK, so don't miss any of that. It's going to be amazing. Trevor Nelson is coming up next. This was a 7 digital production for BBC Radio 2 on the BBC Sounds app, on your smart speaker, and on 88 to 91 FM.
With the BBC News at 10 o'clock, this is Jason Kay. Labour has accused the Prime Minister of avoiding big decisions on issues such as housing and planning in his speech setting out the government's priorities for 2023. Speaking in East London, Rishi Sunak's pledges included halving inflation this year and passing new laws to stop small boat crossings the Channel. He said that he would cut the NHS waiting lists in England, and Mr Sunak said to achieve this, the aim the health service would need to change.
We will always protect the founding principles of an NHS free at the point of use. But what it does mean is an NHS where patients are in control with as much choice as possible, where we're comfortable with the NHS using more independent capacity, if that's what it takes to get patients quicker and better care.
Staff working for Sainsbury's will see their hourly pay increase to at least £11 from next month. The supermarket said the rise would cost £185 million. The first ever strike by UK workers at the online giant Amazon will take place later this month. Members of the GMB union at a factory in Coventry are walking out in a row about pay. Amazon says there'll be zero impact on customers. Businesses have been told the current level of state support with energy bills is unsustainably expensive during talks with the Chancellor, Jeremy Hunt. The 6-month scheme, which ends in March, will have cost about £18 billion. Mr Hunt will set out details of a less generous plan next week. The actors who played Romeo and Juliet in Franco Zeffirelli's 1968 film are suing Paramount Pictures for child abuse. Olivia Hussey and Leonard Hussey claim they were tricked into performing a nude scene. Paramount is yet to respond to the claim. Tamara Lave, a professor of law at the University of Miami, explained why the claim may fail.
There were interviews that were made recently in 2018 in which Olivia Hussey said explicitly that she wasn't uncomfortable by the images, that her co-actor wasn't uncomfortable by the images.
The death of the West Ham United co-chairman David Gold has been marked at the club's game at Leeds this evening. His seat in the director's box was covered by a shirt with Gold 1 on the back, and a bunch of flowers was left where he would have been sat. The chair at the West Ham Supporters Trust, Sue Watson, says fans would remember him fondly.
Any loss is a sad loss, and our condolences go to his daughters, his wider family, his fiancée, and everybody that knew David Gold. He was a lifelong West Ham fan. I mean, he even played for the youth team. He grew up opposite the bowling ground. So this was not a passing fad.
And the weather a dry night for most, with just the odd shower remaining in southern Scotland and northern England. And that's the BBC News at 3 minutes past 10.
Thank you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's go.
It's Trevor Nelson's Magnificent 7.
And Happy New Year, Mark, by the way. Welcome to Wednesday night's Rhythm Nation. How you been? I hope you're well. Hope you're relaxed and ready. We've got 7 magnificent tracks lined up for you. From the likes of Diana Ross, the Jones Girls, and kicking off with some Cameo.
The Magnificent Seven on BBC Radio 2.